Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4 in the Return of the Revolution edition. So we took over as Russia from the Soviet Union. We are now in a war against some of the Western allies. Indeed in Europe we won this war, but we are in a bit of war in Japan. However, we are going to look to support Italy in the war against the Western powers. Reasoning being that, you know, as Russia, we felt that we were being taken advantage of, so yeah, that's for the backstory. So in between episodes I took the liberty of redesigning our army setup a little bit over here. So we now have three army groups, which we will call fronts. The German front, which encompasses the armies in the north, the Southern front, which encompasses armies down here, and in the Eastern theater, actually divided this by theater, in the Eastern theater we have the Japanese front. Now in the west we have the Second Army, which is going to stream through this northern part of Germany, the Third Army, which is going to push on Berlin. First Army is going to make a push down here and then probably into Prague to cut off the Czechs from this area up here, and the Seventh Army, which is the weakest of the armies in the in this group. Because it has only very few guards, it doesn't have a commander, so this one will push against the Czechs through these forts. That's going to be a hard push. This is mountainous terrain and so on, and the First Army might be able to deal with this a little bit better, but I think this push is going to be a bit more important, and this push will also face some mountains, some hilly terrain, but I just wanted to succeed, just want to capture Prague very quickly. Prague and I think Brno? No, Pilsen. Brno's down here. And that should already entice Czechoslovakia to fall, and that might be enough. Going down here we have the support A group, so these are our garrison type units. They are only here to really push a little bit through this empty terrain, really just close the gap on the more Slovakian part of the country. Moving further south we have the support B group, which is split between just facing Hungary and facing Yugoslavia. Both of these nations are neutral and they're probably going to stay neutral for the foreseeable future, but I just want to have some guard against that. And down here, as part of course of the Southern Front, we have the Fifth Army, which is currently just relocating to establish itself on the Bulgarian border over here. Bulgaria has just been established as Romania gave up, and they're probably going to be overrun very soon by Greece. So yeah, that's not ideal. We do establish a front over here, be ready to take on the Greeks once they very likely beat Bulgaria again. Not much else. There are some units who are just garrisoning our northern coast, but that's not too crucial. Now in the east, things have changed a little bit. So we have starting here from the very western part of the front, we have the Reserve Army. Again, these are not really very strong units, but they do have the ability to maybe push a little bit. You can actually join this attack, I think. Maybe join in a little bit on an attack over here, at least help out and try to get this part of the river back, establish a bit more stable front line. Going a bit to the east, we have the Sixth Army, which is a bit more stronger, although it doesn't have any guard units, and we might want to change that very soon. So its job will be to hold this part of the river and push down here into this. Then we have down here the Fourth Army in the very east, which just got a new commander. He will take 15 days to arrive. We've shortened the front line considerably. As you can see, a lot of units are still hamstrung around this part of the front, and they'll hopefully be able to push towards this area over here and be a little bit stronger, so at least that's the hope. In between that we do have something new, the Eighth Army, and that was just deployed over here. So these are really fresh troops, they don't have a commander and we can't afford one, and we've split those groups between 12 units that will seek to rein in the Japanese on this front, and some who will try to push them down here. So hopefully that's going to be enough to hold them back, keep this corridor open, and maybe establish ourselves a little bit better down here. We will need to probably place some support units over here just to guard our harbors and coastline. So, but that's going to have to wait a little bit. I also sent over our airplanes to over here so that they can support this Russian Far East theater a little bit better, although it's not probably going to help us very much. So there's that. I don't think we have a lot of units in training. One more infantry group, basically half of them guards, half of them rifle divisions, a couple of heavy units, but not that many, and a couple of mountain divisions, which will be helpful. I think we might actually send those two to over here, or we just go ahead and establish the First Army a little bit more strongly in this regard. We'll have to see. That being said, I think it makes sense. We do have a lot of infantry equipment, right? Yeah, so I think it makes sense to, well, firstly train one more of you guys, because we can, and then train up a couple of support units, so I think at least 24. Just one. It does leave us at only 1 million people, but I think you all have the equipment that you need. Yeah, that looks good. You're being supported by Yugoslavian equipment.